All right, it's just me and cocktails, I guess, right? Okay, first and foremost, I'll get through this real quick. I really appreciate everyone's time today and attention. A lot of great panels, a lot of great speakers, hopefully a lot of great hallway conversations. Most important thing, this is our feedback form. There should be one in front of you. If you're missing pens, we will make sure there's pens. I got a couple of people waving they need a pen. So we'll make sure that pens get passed down. If you give these to us at the back of the room, you will get a Starbucks gift card. So there's an incentive to filling this out. Listen, at the end of the day, this event is for you, and this really helps us try to make sure that the information is relevant and that everything that you wanted to see, you saw. So thank you. Piece number one. Okay, moving on. So there's a lot of highlight reels today, and I really won't waste a lot of time, but I want to kind of talk about a couple of things. First, thank you for celebrating our 20th birthday with us. I know it's coming in a few weeks, but thank you very much. So a couple of highlights. So Mr. Krebs got up here and talked about how scary the internet is. I think I'm going to go throw away my computer. I never knew about password spraying, but apparently we all need to do that. Stat, of course, got up and talked about all of the scary stuff on the internet as well. I mean, the reality is that we're all affected by counterfeit. Even if we think our products aren't counterfeit, we're all tangentially affected by this, and there's a lot of really horrible stuff happening in the world that's related to it, because selling drugs, people go away to jail forever. Selling counterfeit products, they don't. So that's just kind of, at the end of the day, the problem. We heard an amazing auto group that got up here and talked about, the risks are real, once again. This affects everybody in the room. And that, what was the most important thing to them? Data, sharing, and of course now we're going to develop a 12-step program for creating communities. We got to the advocacy, I can't even say it now, advocacy group with Kieran and Bradley. And Kieran made a great point about how ICANN helped him expand his network in a way that had all kinds of great effects later on, meaning, this problem came up and I knew this attorney now was able to solve things. And I love the way Bradley talked about how advocacy equaled storytelling, and it was that storytelling capability that got him to get more done within the organization. So just kind of little things. I'm sure you all took great notes, and there were a lot of takeaways. Steve Coates, of course, with China is a pain in the ass. Who can deny that? And then I think the collection of both Elizabeth and Steve talking about having a plan to basically stuff happens, investment versus risk. These were all kind of key takeaways I took. The brand panel with Greg Morazzo and Paul from iRobot. Greg talked about moving to a holistic approach. It was a big kind of transitional moment for their organization, as well as having patience and discipline in your programs. I think that's very, very cool. And of course, Paul with, their $1 billion company making a little round disc that apparently is now watching my dog. Who knew? If you can get it to watch my kids, I'll buy two. And then we close, of course, with Julian. And thank you very much, Julian, for coming up and joining us and talking about tools and access and all the things that really make us all successful. So please do the feedback forms. I want to have, real quickly, all the people from MarkMonitor stand up, please. So the reason I'm doing this, and we don't really have time for introductions, but these folks are all here from the organization. Please feel free to make sure if you haven't met these folks, we're going to have the cocktail reception after this. Go around, shake some hands. The interactivity of this is really the key. So please meet each other. I would also like to thank all of the people behind the scenes. There's a bunch of support folks that helped us today. Becky, Christine, Kelly, and Nicole, thank you so much. Just so much happened. All right, and then I swear I'll keep it short. I'm going to end with a little story that's close to my heart. So I have a young son. This is a few years ago. I've been doing this now for not as long as Aaron, but quite a long time. I was invited to go to his school, as many of you probably have done, to talk about your career or your job. And I'm standing there with my second grader, and he has to get up and introduce me. And I'm there with the firefighter and the policeman and everybody else. And he goes and tells the class that his dad sells cell phones. And I was like, where did he get that from? And then he realized that I work from home most of the time, and all he sees me is with my cell phone, and he knows I sell something. So second grader says I sell cell phones. So thinking on my feet, I tell the group of these kids, I said, no, I'm actually an internet cop. That's really what I do. I go out and I police the internet for all kinds of bad stuff and help these big brands take these problems away. That resonated really, really well. So to close out today, by the powers invested in me from my son's elementary school, I'd like everyone to raise their right hand. I'm now deputizing you all as internet cops. Have a great evening. Go enjoy your drinks.